We're too late.
New Criminal Minds, CBS Wednesday.
The 21st edition of the FIFA World Cup will be aired live on Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Be a part of the history. You don't want to miss FIFA World Cup 2018.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste? Definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
Ever wondered what smart health insurance feels like?
Colonial's 24/7 worldwide health insurance does most of the thinking for you.
1,500 CGI health claims are settled daily.
60% of claims settled automatically.
You can access your health plan almost anywhere, anytime.
And have smart wellness with online data tracking.
And more provider choices for you and the people who matter most.
Premier Health is smart health insurance, and it feels good.
Colonial, where people come first.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, January 22nd, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Topping our news, the former Minister of Social Development and Sport moves to clear the air on his decision to resign from the cabinet, citing his friendship with former Premier Dr. Ewart Brown as his reason. David Burt, the Premier, announced on Sunday Mr. De Silva had resigned over a conflict. Gary Moreno spoke to the former minister by phone shortly before we went live.
It's no secret Dr. Brown's a very good friend of mine. As the government have tried to deal with the draconian decision by the former OBA government to target his business to try and shut him down. As we try to maneuver that choppy water, I felt very uncomfortable. That's the decision I made.
You indicated that there was a conflict of interest. Are you a part of Dr. Brown's business, or what is it? What is that conflict of interest?
My conflict is, as I stated, Gary. He's a very good friend of mine. You'll be well aware that like I said, the draconian cuts that the OBA made to the fees that Brown Darrell have been charging for the last 10 years are threatening the livelihood of that business, a business that many Bermudians over the last 10 years have come to count on to send their loved ones. It's as we maneuver those choppy waters and to try and come to a resolution, I felt very uncomfortable. And, you know, I just felt it best that I withdraw from that situation.
Did Dr. Brown try to have you, or did you try to lobby the government on behalf of Dr. Brown?
I think there have been many people to lobby the government on behalf of Dr. Brown. He has developed that business that has become very crucial to many families on this island, and you know, and that remains today. There are many people that are disappointed that the decision that the OBA took and the Health Council followed through with, that you know, could very well affect their families going forward.
But did you attempt to lobby the government on behalf of Dr. Brown, perhaps at his request? And if you did, what was the response of the leader of the country, Premier David Burt?
Well, anything that we discussed in cabinet, as you know, stays in cabinet.
How do you think this is going to impact the party?
I don't think it's going to affect the party whatsoever, to be honest. The party couldn't be stronger, Gary. We have a great team of people that have been given a mandate by the people of this country, and I think that we'll look forward to pressing ahead with the mandate that we were given and to try and accomplish as many goals in our platform as we can during our tenure.
No bad blood between you and the Premier?
Oh, hell no. No. Premier has my full support. I think he'll be very good for the country. A lot of people have talked about his age, but I think David's a very intelligent young man, and I think he'll lead the country as we expect him to lead it.
What are rumors that you were asked by the Premier to step down based on your attending the press conference to show support with Dr. Brown last week? Sorry.
Not true.
Meantime, news of Mr. De Silva's resignation prompting several questions and statements today. Trevor Monez, the shadow attorney general leading the charge in questioning Mr. De Silva's reasons for quitting, cited as a conflict by Premier David Burt. Mr. Monez, speaking to Mike Sharp tonight, says he had warned of the dangers of giving Mr. De Silva a cabinet position while government legal cases are still pending due to conflict of interest. Mr. Monez had criticized the Premier's decision to appoint Mr. De Silva to cabinet.
I warn the general public of the danger of having people in cabinet who are under a cloud. At the moment, the government have a court case against Mr. De Silva and some other people over the Port Royal development. And of course, the decisions on how that case is going to go will ultimately be made by cabinet. So it's kind of difficult to have a member in cabinet who's being sued by cabinet. So that really was not a good idea, and I warned of the danger of that from the get-go. In some way, Mr. De Silva is a business partner of Dr. Brown and obviously showed up to support him at the press conference last week. Dr. Brown, of course, was criticizing the government and the cabinet and the civil servants, with Mr. Zane De Silva standing there supporting him. And we all expected immediate action. You would have expected to see the gentleman fired within hours of that action, certainly by the next day. But of course, it took until Sunday night until we saw the announcement that Mr. De Silva had retired, which of course raises a question, did he jump or was he pushed? We really need to know whether this government is soft on corruption or whether this government will take it to task and take the action that's necessary. So are they able to pursue these actions, or are they divided because they involve members of the PLP and they're not really able to deal with them?
And Mr. Monez says that the outstanding legal claims against Mr. De Silva and Dr. Brown shed the country in a negative light.
There are hard questions which need to be answered. Are you going to tackle past corruption? And there we will have, if you're able to do that, then we can have confidence that you'll be able to deal with ethical practices going forward. You know, there are a lot of concerns which are sitting out there in the community. So, you know, we've seen already there are a number of people bailing out. We've seen, you know, the police commissioners retiring, the Chief Justice retiring. I expect to see more retirements coming up. I don't think that's the end. I think that's the beginning. And the people bailing out because they don't have confidence in this government coming forward. I'm not saying that's the sole issue, but there's such a thing as the straw that broke the camel's back. So if you were thinking of doing something else, would this be the time to think of doing something else if you held one of those important positions which is supposed to keep the government of Bermuda to account? And Premier Burt has a heavy responsibility to maintain the confidence of the community, the business community, the international business community, and generally around the world. That Bermuda is a jurisdiction of very high standards. And so far he's failed in that, in my view.
Mr. De Silva's departure equally puzzling to Jean Atherton, the opposition leader who, while speaking to Tarai Trot, questioned Mr. De Silva's decision to quit, given his portfolio of social development and sport having nothing to do with health.
My initial reaction was, I think, probably the same reaction that most of the Bermuda public had, which was, why was he leaving the cabinet? Zane's ministry was not health. Zane's ministry was sports and community, and therefore one wondered what was the basis for it. My second reaction was a concern that his quitting the cabinet would not have any impact on the cost of health care and what we were doing with respect to health.
The Premier said he quit over a conflict.
I guess that's something that Mr. De Silva would have to decide to amplify, because he's the only one that would be able to indicate what type of conflict was created, and how it had somehow had an effect, or it was somehow related to the CT and MRI scans.
Meanwhile, asked to weigh in on the disagreement between former Premier Ewart Brown and the Health Council and the new government over fees for MRI scans, Mrs. Atherton stressing the reason why the Health Council was founded in the first place.
The one thing I think I have to remind myself and the Bermuda public is the fact that the Health Council was formed by the PLP government in 2006, I think it was. And its mandate was to regulate, was to control the cost of health, was to make sure that, if you will, we made health, and health is one of the most important and the highest dollar expenditure after the debt. It was designed to be put into place to turn around and try and improve the health care, to regulate and do things to make sure that Bermuda's health, the people's health, improved. And so, from my perspective, I've always believed, and when I was the Minister of Health, I always operated on the basis that the Health Council was there to advise the Minister, that they were the individuals who went out and got the information and understood what was happening, and therefore would help Bermuda get itself on the correct footing, because whether we like it or not, we have an aging population, which means that the cost of health is constantly going to be going up. But at the same time, you want the quality of health care to be also improving.
Stay with us. More news in tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
From happy beginnings and life choices that we make along the way,
Colonial protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
health insurance with far-reaching benefits,
Family protection and long-term financial plans.
Business insurance and generous employee benefits.
For happy beginnings to happy ever after, visit CGIGroup.com.
Colonial, where people come first.
Step into the next generation of sinks, faucets, tubs, and more with the bold look of Kohler. Choose from a range of whole room solutions, or let an individual piece be your guide for a feel-good, look-good quality. Pure inspiration at your fingertips. Kohler's Next Generation Showroom at BAC.
Welcome back. A Royal Bermuda Regiment soldier has been arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a female soldier at Wark Camp. Police say they received a report on Sunday that the sexual assault had taken place on the grounds of the Royal Bermuda Regiment on Saturday night. A female soldier was reported to have been assaulted by a male soldier. A man has been arrested in connection with the complaint, and he was later released on police bail. While the investigation continues, the annual 2-week recruit camp is currently underway there, where 43 volunteers began their training on January the 14th and ends this Saturday. Meanwhile, the regiment said they take complaints from their soldiers very seriously and are cooperating fully with the police inquiry. They add it would be inappropriate and potentially prejudicial to any inquiry to comment on disciplinary matters. We are an open and transparent organization, and we demand the highest standard of conduct at every level, end quote. So talk about a turnaround. Insurance giant AIG, which just a decade ago needed $180 billion bailout, is back on the acquisition trail. And as Tony Waterman reports, Bermuda is front and center.
American International Group and Validus Holdings are already under the same roof. Soon, they'll be under the same banner. The American insurance giant is buying the Bermudian reinsurer in a cash deal worth nearly $5.6 billion.
This acquisition is a significant step forward in executing our strategy to pursue profitable growth. As part of AIG, Validus has greater opportunity to expand profitably.
During a webcast this morning, AIG CEO Brian Duperreault said the deal will sharpen AIG's underwriting and strengthen its management bench. The deal folds Validus's 4 businesses into AIG's portfolio, including more than $1 billion in reinsurance premiums and $3.4 billion in assets under management.
Validus has a comprehensive reinsurance offering. We are confident that these businesses can leverage AIG's scale and expertise to accelerate their growth in the coming years.
Bermuda's insurance and reinsurance industries are no stranger to consolidation. XL and Catlin merged in 2015. That same year, Renaissance Re completed its near $2 billion takeover of Platinum Underwriters, while Endurance shelled out nearly the same amount on Montpelier. It was itself bought out by a Japanese company last year for $6.3 billion. Those deals helped the companies streamline operations, which in turn led to layoffs. It's unclear whether this deal could do the same. Neither company agreed to an on-camera interview, but in an op-ed said they are highly complementary and that they expect Validus to operate largely as it does today. One person who will be departing, though, is Validus chairman and CEO Ed Noonan. According to analysis by the Insurance Insider, Noonan stands to pocket $95 million on the deal. It's also a big deal for AIG. It's not only the insurer's biggest acquisition since 2001, but it also signals a change in strategy under a new CEO. Brian Duperreault, the founder of Bermuda-based Hamilton Insurance Group, took the reins in May of last year. In the 8 months since, he's made ambitious plans, following years of retrenchment after the insurance giant stood at death's door during the financial crisis. Tony Waterman for Bermuda Broadcasting.
Turning to weather news, a mostly sunny Tuesday in store. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you this AccuWeather forecast, which looks okay tonight, kind of quiet out there. But as we say goodbye to the most recent system, you can see the clouds associated with that. Some of the heavier showers now hundreds of miles to our southeast. That's gone, but we do turn our attention to the west for the next system that is making some noise across the southeastern U.S. It's actually a blizzard associated with the northwestern part of that in the north central part of the United States. But locally, we will deal with some rain in a few more days associated with that. But right now, 69 degrees, humidity around 65%. Wind is basically calm, very enjoyable out there. Water temp is 70, waves on the inside pretty much flat. Nice evening for wakeboarding or maybe taking a little nighttime scuba dive situation into your schedule. We're dealing with 3 to 4 footers on the outside. And tonight, really quiet out there. Partly cloudy, 65 degrees. Nice night for a walk. Tomorrow, good day for ocean kayaking or something of that nature. 69 degrees. And really the temperature spread from early morning to mid to late afternoon is only about 3 or 4 degrees. So it really is a pretty quiet weather setup. Nothing too wild for us. Tide schedule shows there was a low tide early this evening, high tide coming up around midnight, low tide again for the early risers tomorrow morning. Maybe you'll find a few sand dollars if you head out there during low tide at 6 a.m. Some of us will still be asleep at that time. Gateway forecast shows there's a little bit of a wintry situation into Toronto with a mix that will eventually change over to rain for a time and then end as some snow showers. New York City wet, Boston real wet as well. Atlanta brighter, but a little cooler than we had been. And in Miami, we have some scattered showers and storms, and we're damp. In London, 56 for the high there. Elsewhere around the Caribbean, obviously no tropical development here in the hurricane off-season, which we enjoy. We're dealing with a few hit-or-miss showers in Barbados and Trinidad. A little quieter into Jamaica, enjoying a break in the action there. So here is the extended forecast, and again, it's a very nice Tuesday. 69 degrees, partly sunny, only dropping to 66. Wednesday, slightly warmer. The next front, which is in the southeastern part of the U.S., marching through the eastern part of North America, that's drifting in. We'll be dealing with some showers approaching from that Wednesday into Thursday, but the true front doesn't get here until Thursday. Thursday evening, we'll fall from 70 with the showers to a drier 63. And look at those overnight lows, dropping about 10 degrees, a 9-degree drop from Wednesday night to Thursday night. That'll be a big change. Friday and Saturday looking nice, but certainly on the cooler side behind the front. So that's the way it's shaping up. Looking pretty good out there. Hope you have a great night and enjoy this quiet weather while we have it.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, it's now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going because they've realized, oh, I know where my hand is. I can do this without looking at my hand.
We are so grateful for the Endeavor program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
At Big Savings Zone, we believe your children deserve a happy space to call their own, full of color and excitement, where their imagination can take flight from fun to functional. We have a delightful selection of kids' furniture built with the same quality that you've come to know and trust at our everyday low prices. Create a room that your little ones will love only at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Located in the Commercial Park, Southside, St. David's. Call 297-4440 or click BigSavingZone.com. Big Savings Zone, making your house a home.
Fresh Breath Dental is more than a dental office. It's a community dental office with wheelchair access, scholarship opportunities, community day free extractions, plus savings opportunities with $25 off through BIU and BPSU and referral award, and an $80 teeth cleaning as part of our transitional program. Because we believe when the community benefits, we all benefit, as a healthy mouth is a healthier you. So don't delay. Call 433-6825 or email info@fbdl.bm to schedule your appointment today at Fresh Breath Dental in the Cedar Park Center, Hamilton.
Education Minister Diallo Rebane is attending the annual Education World Forum in London. He spoke to Bermuda Broadcasting News about Bermuda launching new scholarship and award opportunities for 15 categories.
What we did was took what we had done, what had been done last year, and we, based on feedback that we got from the persons making the applications and from the various committees that were put together to vet the applications, there were some recommendations made and also some new directions that we wanted to go with some of the awards that we are handing out. And so what you have in front of you and what's been released is what we feel is going to be, it's going to help young Bermudians attain that goal of post-secondary education a little bit better and make it and widen the scope of who can apply for these awards, so we can make those dollars that we do have for these awards stretch a little bit further.
Non-traditional student award, applied technology scholarship. I mean, it's quite a bit here. Bermuda College Books Awards, Exceptional Student Award, Further Education Award. Oh, this is slightly different from previously.
Yes, well, one thing that I am really proud about is the Applied Technology Scholarship. What that's going to be, what that's going to be is that previously we had two Ministers Awards that were for $25,000 each. And what we did was take one of those and dedicate it solely to the Bermuda College. Mike, currently we have a dual enrollment program that deals strictly with vocational studies, and it's called the Applied Technology Program, and that is between the two high schools and the Bermuda College. So when the students go up there, they get exposure to plumbing, electrical work, electronics, computers, motor mechanics, and the like. And if the students successfully complete this two-year program, dual enrollment program, they'll only need 1 year of Bermuda College to graduate with a degree from the technology program. So what we did was we took the $25,000 that was going to one person, and we split that up. So now we'll give 4 $5,000 awards to the young men and women who are in this program who successfully complete the high school portion and only need that 1 year. So we're looking at giving them an award for 1 year so they can walk away with their degree from the Bermuda College. The additional $5,000, what we've done is said, let's take that and split it into 10 $500 book awards specifically for the Bermuda College to assist students who may find themselves in financial straits when it comes to being able to purchase books.
The minister and permanent secretary return home this weekend. And turning to sports, Bermuda Olympic hopeful finishes 6th in Australia. 2 athletes meet the Carifta Games qualifying standards and champions crowned in Butterfield and Vallis 5K. Earl Basin has tonight's sports package.
The final day of the 2018 Finn Australian Championships saw Raquel Evans and other sailors conclude on the waters of the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron. Evans would finish in 6th place with 58 net points after 10 races. On the final day, Evans recorded a 7th place finish in the first race of the day and the 9th of the regatta before crossing the line 5th. The Bermuda National Athletic Association held a track meet at the National Sports Center yesterday with 2 more athletes meeting the Carifta standards. There was plenty of celebration when John Dow Cumberbatch clocked an under-20 boys 5,000-meter run winning time of 16:55.56. But there was even a bigger cheer when 14-year-old Amelia Oathman hit the under-17 girls high jump mark of 1.55 meters. She would also hit the 1.57-meter mark to win the event. Chase Smith and Ashley Berry are the 2018 Butterfield and Vallis male and female champions. Smith was clocked in a winning time of 16:19, with Stephen Allen second in a time of 16:35. Christopher Harris finished third in a time of 17:24. Berry was 6th overall, clocking a time of 17:46. Jennifer Allen was the second female finisher and 15th overall with a time of 19:12. And the third female finisher was Christine Palmer, who was 25th overall in a time of 20:09. In Bermuda Football Association Premier Division action yesterday at the Devonshire Recreation Club, Young Men's Social Club stunned the crowd when Clay Smith scored in the 3rd minute to give them the lead. But Callan Mabry would equalize with a free kick from some 25 yards. Levin's Toto would give Devonshire Cougars the lead in the 51st minute, and Jamaica Mallory would close out the scoring with a goal in the 82nd minute. In other Premier Division action, it was the Boulevard Blazers 2, Somerset Trojans 2, Dandytown Hornets 3, PHC Zebras 0, North Village Rams 2, Flanagan's Onions 0, and on Saturday night at the BAA Field, it was Robin Hood 1, Crossroads 5. In First Division play at the Devonshire Recreation Club yesterday, the Devonshire Colts held a 3-0 lead when the referee called halt to the game with players unable to be controlled. Devonshire Colts got 2 goals from Tadiko Eve and 1 from Cameron Coffey. In other First Division play, it was Hamilton Parish 1, BAA 7, St. David's 0, Southampton Rangers 5, Paget Lions 2, Somerset Eagles 0, Island Rangers 1, St. George's Colts 10. The West won 4 of the 6 matches in the Bermuda School Sports Federation All-Star Football matches at the National Sports Center on Saturday. The West won the opener 3-1 in the primary school girls match. The East, however, would win the primary school boys match 5-4 in kicks from the penalty mark after the game had ended 1-1. The West picked up a 3-2 middle school girls victory. They will win by the same score in the middle school boys match. Penalties were needed to determine the senior school girls winner, and the East held their nerve to score all 5 of their spot kicks, with the West missing only 1. This after the match ended 2-2. The West would win 2-1 in the senior school boys match. The inaugural UANA Swimming Cup concluded in Florida with Bermuda winning a medal. During the 13-14 girls 100-meter freestyle, Logan Watson Brown finished 3rd, touching the wall in a time of 59.79. Darray Rollins and his Sydney Cricket Club teammate took on North Sydney in a second-grade match. Sydney would win the toss and elect to bat, and they would score 358 for 5 declared. Rollins was the top scorer with a knock of 152. North Sydney ended the day 23 for 3 and will resume their inning on Saturday, 335 runs behind. The 2018 Auto Solutions RES Spring Horse Show took place at the National Equestrian Center on Visa Street. In the Low Hunter Hand Pony A class, Tyler James and You'll Be Amazed finished first, with Julia Slade riding Just Pete second, and Cameron Lyons and Jack of Hearts finished in third. Lyons would win the Low Hunter Handy Pony B class with Jack of Hearts. James would finish second with You'll Be Amazed, and Jesse Huser and Mr. Wizard finished in third. On day 2 of the event, Jenna Ferrer Ferreira won the junior equitation under 12 over fences class, with Tyler James and Hey Dude finishing second, and Courtney Sims and Mr. Rainman finished in third. The short stirrup equitation 12 years and under over fences class was won by Skylar White riding Boom Boom Pow, with Ariane Wilmont and Jack of Hearts finishing second. Cody Rigo and Happy Feet finished in third. Casey Truin and Dalla Vega won the junior equitation 15 to 18 years over fences class, with Christian Truin and Rosalind second. Courtney Brumby and Worth the Wait finished in third. The Bermuda Hockey Federation's league season resumed at the National Sports Center with 15 goals scored yesterday in a triple header. Georgia Harris scored a hat-trick to lead the Ravens to a 4-1 victory over the Canaries. Fiona Braidwood would add the other goal for the Ravens, while Kershie Jones scored the lone goal for the Canaries. In other matches, the mixed A team went down 4-1 to the mixed B team, and the Budgies defeated the Pink Robins 3-1.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going, because they've realized, oh, I know where my hand is. I can do this without looking at my hand.
We are so grateful for the Endeavour program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. See you tomorrow. Good night.